Admiral Deho stood at the command deck window and looked at the stars. He was tired of this job. For 15 years, humans had followed every rule the Galactic Council made. They smiled, they negotiated, they waited. Deho was a soldier, but now he played babysitter to diplomats. Below his ship, the colony world of New Jeju spun slowly. 4 million people lived there. They grew food, mined minerals, and raised families. It was peaceful. Boring, even. That was about to change. Captain Minji walked up beside him. She was young but smart. Too smart sometimes. She asked questions that made people uncomfortable. "Sir, the Valtrine fleet is moving closer," she said. "They have 70 warships now." "That is not normal," Deho nodded. He had seen this before, back on Earth during the war years. When enemies gather ships, they are not coming to talk. But the Galactic Council had rules. You could not shoot first. You had to wait. You had to discuss. You had to fill out forms while people died. "We follow protocol," Deho said. "Alert the Council. Contact Ambassador Hyunwoo." The Valtrine were a proud species. They believed strength meant everything. For 300 years, they had taken what they wanted. Other species complained to the Council. The Council talked. The Council investigated. The Council did nothing that mattered. The Valtrine paid small fines and kept the stolen planets. Ambassador Hyunwoo appeared on the screen. He was a thin man who believed in peace above all else. "Admiral, the Council is meeting now. They will resolve this through dialogue." "Ambassador, they have 70 warships," Deho said slowly. "They did not bring those to talk." "We must trust the process," Hyunwoo replied. "Humanity joined the Council to be civilized. We cannot abandon that now." The screen went dark. Minji looked at Deho. "Sir, if they attack, we defend," Deho said. "But we cannot strike first. Those are the rules." 20 hours later, the Valtrine sent their message. It was simple. "Surrender New Jeju in 48 hours. The minerals belong to the Valtrine Empire. Resist and face justice, justice." They called it justice. Deho wanted to laugh, but the sound would be bitter. The Council met again. They talked for hours. Species argued about territory laws and historical claims. The Valtrine said New Jeju was in disputed space. Some Council members agreed. They suggested humanity negotiate a mineral sharing agreement. Ambassador Hyunwoo reported back. "The Council needs time. They are forming a committee." "How much time?" Deho asked. 6 months to reach a decision. "We have 48 hours. The Valtrine will wait." They always wait for Council decisions, but they did not wait. 36 hours after the ultimatum, the Valtrine attacked. Not the military bases, not the orbital stations. They hit the cities. Deho was drinking coffee when the alarm screamed. Minji ran to her station. "Nuclear launches detected. Multiple warheads incoming!" "Intercept them," Deho shouted. His ships moved fast. They shot down missiles. But there were too many. The Valtrine had launched everything at once. 40 nuclear warheads fell on New Jeju cities in 3 minutes. Deho watched from orbit as the world burned. The capital city vanished in white fire. Then the port city. Then the farming settlements. The screens showed the heat signatures. Then they showed nothing but ash. 4,300,000 people. Gone. In the time it took to drink a cup of coffee, Minji was crying. She tried to hide it, but tears ran down her face. "Sir, we have some final transmissions. From the surface before..." "Play them," Deho said. His voice was flat. The first was from a mother in a shelter. She was singing to children. A lullaby. The sound cut off mid-song. The second was from Mayor Borum in the capital. Her voice was calm. "If anyone hears this, tell Earth we did not surrender. Tell them we..." Static. The third message was from a school. A teacher named Jisoo. "I have 32 children with me. We are in the basement. I can see the flash coming through the windows. I want my family to know I love..." Silence. Deho stood very still. He had seen death before. He had ordered men to their deaths. But this was different. This was murder on a scale that made words meaningless. The Valtrine broadcast their own message. The illegal colonists of New Jeju resisted lawful annexation. They were warned. "This is justice under Valtrine law." Minji looked at Deho. "Orders, sir?" Deho did not answer. He was waiting. Waiting for the Council. Waiting for the ambassadors. Waiting for someone to tell him what civilized people do when monsters murder children. The Council met within hours. Emergency session. Every species sent representatives. They expressed deep concern. They called for investigations. They formed committees. They discussed economic sanctions that might be implemented over the next 6 months. 6 months. 4 million people were dead in 3 minutes. The council needed 6 months to think about it. One ambassador from a small species noted that New Jeju was technically in disputed space. Another suggested that both sides shared blame. A third recommended patience and understanding. Ambassador Hyunwoo contacted Daeho. The diplomat looked tired. "Admiral, the council is working on this. We must trust." Daeho cut the connection. He had heard enough words. Words did not bring back the dead. Words did not stop nuclear fire. Words were what civilized people used while monsters killed. That night, 2 messages arrived from Earth. Both were encrypted. Both were short. The first came from the military command. The second came from the civilian government. They said the same thing. Do what must be done. Daeho called his senior officers to the conference room. Minji came. So did Commander Junho, who led the Marine Forces. Engineer Nari joined by video link from Earth. Director Kiwan appeared from Intelligence Headquarters. Daeho looked at each of them. "We joined the Galactic Council 15 years ago. We agreed to their rules. We promised to be civilized. We kept that promise even when it was hard. We kept it because we believed the rules protected everyone." He paused. On the wall screen behind him, images from New Jeju played. Before and after, cities full of life, then craters full of ash. The council has shown us the truth. Their rules only work if everyone follows them. The Valtrine do not follow them. They never did. For 300 years they have taken what they want and paid small fines. The council lets them because the council is afraid. Afraid of conflict. Afraid of war. So afraid that they will watch millions die rather than act. Minji spoke quietly. "Sir, what are you saying?" Daeho turned to face them. His face was hard. "I am saying we stop being civilized. I am saying we remind the galaxy what humans are. We are not herbivores. We are not prey. We came from a world where we fought each other for 10,000 years. We invented every horror you can imagine. We built weapons that could end all life on our planet. We wrote laws about war crimes because we learned what we were capable of doing." He touched the console. Maps appeared. Valtrine colonies. Valtrine stations. Valtrine trade routes. We joined the council because we wanted to be better. We wanted to leave our violent past behind. But the council has forgotten what happens when civilization is just a mask. When being civilized means being weak. When following rules gets your people killed. Daeho looked at each officer. We stop being civilized now. We show them what humans really are. And when it is over, when the Valtrine understand what they created, maybe then we can be civilized again. Maybe. No one spoke. They all knew what he meant. They all knew what was coming. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson. Humans had not forgotten how to be monsters. They had just been pretending. The change happened fast. All across human space, ships stopped pretending. Cargo vessels opened their hulls to reveal missile batteries. Mining stations activated defense grids that should not exist. Military bases that the council thought were small suddenly showed their real size. For 15 years, humans had lied. They built weapons in secret. They trained soldiers in methods the council banned. They prepared for a war they hoped would never come. Now the masks came off. Engineer Nari worked from a hidden facility on Mars. She was young, only 32, but she had designed most of humanity's illegal weapons. Now she activated them all. Satellites that looked harmless suddenly armed themselves. Asteroids that had been slowly moved into position for years were ready to launch. Project Damocles is online, she reported to Admiral Daeho. We have firing solutions for every major Valtrine asset. Director Kiwan from Intelligence added his report. Sir, we have been mapping Valtrine positions for 12 years. Every colony, every station, every military base. We know where they eat breakfast. The Valtrine did not know any of this. High Commander Thex sat in his flagship and felt satisfied. The New Jeju operation had worked perfectly. Kill the colonists, claim the planet, let the council talk for months. By then, Valtrine miners would have stripped the valuable minerals. The small fine they would pay later was nothing. Thex had studied humans. His intelligence file said they were weak. They avoided conflict. They came from herbivore ancestors, his scientists claimed. Humans had no warrior instinct. They had stumbled into space technology through luck, not strength. He was about to learn how wrong his scientists were. Admiral Deho gave the order at midnight, Earth time. Not an order to attack the Valtrine military. Not a fair fight. Something else. Execute symmetry protocol, he said. 3 Valtrine mining colonies died first. The workers there had no warning. They were civilians, just like the people of New Jeju. They were mining minerals, just like New Jeju colonists had been. The difference was the method of death. Humans did not use nuclear weapons. They used something older and simpler. Asteroids. Big rocks accelerated to nearly the speed of light. When they hit like the fist of an angry god. The mining colonies vanished. Not burned, not destroyed. Simply gone. Turned to vapor and scattered atoms. 8 trade stations followed. Then 2 industrial worlds. Each strike was precise. Each target was civilian infrastructure, just like New Jeju. Minji watched the tactical display. Her hands shook slightly. Sir, the count is at 4,200,000. Continue, Deho said. His voice was flat, empty. 1 more target, a small farming colony. The asteroids fell. Minji checked her screen. 4,300,000, sir. Exact match. Cease fire, Deho ordered. Broadcast the message. The message went out on every galactic channel. Every species heard it. Every station picked it up. Admiral Deho spoke directly to the camera, to the Valtrine Empire and the Galactic Council. You wanted to see what humans could be. You have forgotten our history. We came from a world where we fought each other for 10,000 years. We did not fight with honor. We fought to win. We invented weapons that could kill millions. We invented tactics that made mercy irrelevant. We wrote rules about war crimes because we had to stop ourselves from being monsters. Deho paused. Behind him, the count displayed 4,300,000. New Jeju had 4,300,000 people. Men, women, children. They died because we followed your rules. They died because we were civilized. They died because we believed the council would protect them. We have now killed exactly the same number of Valtrine civilians. This is not justice. This is mathematics. You taught us that being civilized means being weak. We are no longer civilized. The galaxy exploded in chaos. The Galactic Council emergency session turned into a screaming match. 50 species demanded humanity be expelled immediately. 30 species quietly moved their ships away from human space. They did not want to be next. 5 species sent secret messages to Earth. The messages all said similar things. Finally, someone did something. We lost colonies to the Valtrine too. The council did nothing. We understand. Ambassador Soyeon stood in the council chambers. She was Earth's representative there. A small woman with gray hair and hard eyes. She had survived the unification wars on Earth. She had seen real combat. The council chair, a tall alien with blue skin, pointed at her. Ambassador Soyeon, humanity has committed genocide. We must vote on sanctions immediately. Soyeon smiled. It was not a nice smile. I veto. You cannot veto everything. Watch me. She vetoed 12 resolutions in 10 minutes. Then she walked out of the chamber. Behind her, the council descended into chaos. High Commander Thex stared at the reports. 13 of his colonies gone, just gone. Millions of Valtrine civilians dead. How had the humans done this? Where had these weapons come from? His intelligence officer brought worse news. Commander, the humans have been hiding their true fleet size. Those cargo ships we ignored? They are carriers. Those mining stations? They are armed fortresses. We have been deceived. Thex felt something he had never felt before. Fear. Real fear. The Valtrine Empire was strong. They had the biggest fleet in the galaxy. But the humans had been planning this for years. What else had they hidden? He made the decision that every Valtrine commander would have made. He could not show weakness. The Empire had to respond with overwhelming force. Show the galaxy that attacking the Valtrine meant death. Mobilize the war fleets, Thex ordered. All of them. 300 ships. We jump to Earth itself. We burn their homeworld. We end this. Colonel Jinho received his orders while training his unit. He commanded the Ghost Battalion, a special forces group that did not officially exist. The Council had banned most of their tactics years ago. Things like infiltration, sabotage, targeted strikes. The Council said such methods were uncivilized. Jinho did not care what the Council said anymore. His sister had lived on New Jeju. She had 3 children, past tense. Listen up, he told his soldiers. We are going to Valtrine Prime, their homeworld. We are not going to blow anything up. We are going to do something worse. We are going to embarrass them. The plan was simple and dangerous. Penetrate the planetary defenses. Broadcast evidence of Valtrine war crimes to their own people. Show them what their empire really was. Then escape. Maybe. While Jinho prepared for his mission, Engineer Nari worked on the next phase. She had designed the kinetic weapons that destroyed the Valtrine colonies. Now she prepared something new. Weapons the galaxy had never seen. Weapons that would make the Valtrine fleet obsolete. Director Kiwan's intelligence network went into full operation. Every human merchant in Valtrine space became a spy. Every human diplomat became an information source. Every human tourist carried hidden sensors. In 3 days, Earth knew more about Valtrine fleet movements than the Valtrine admirals did. They are sending everything to Earth, Kiwan reported. 300 dreadnoughts. The entire war fleet. Estimated arrival time 3 weeks. Minji looked worried. Sir, 300 dreadnoughts. Even with our hidden weapons, those are difficult odds. Deho studied the tactical maps. We will not fight them fairly. Fair fights are for sports. This is war. We fight to win. He pulled up a different map. It showed empty space between Valtrine territory and Earth. Hundreds of jump points. Thousands of possible routes. We spent 10 years seeding this space with mines. Stealth mines. Thousands of them. The Valtrine will come expecting a battle at Earth. We will give them a battle. Just not the one they expect. The Valtrine fleet began its journey. 300 ships, each one massive. Each one powerful enough to destroy cities. The fleet commanders broadcast their intentions to the galaxy. They would make Earth pay. They would show what happened to species who attacked the Valtrine. On Earth, people watched the broadcasts. Many were afraid. Some protested. They said humanity should negotiate, should apologize, should trust the Council to find a peaceful solution. Prime Minister Jiwan addressed the planet. She was a small woman with tired eyes. She had not slept in 3 days. I understand your fear, she said. I share it. What we have done is terrible. 4 million Valtrine civilians are dead because we killed them. That blood is on our hands. On my hands. I will carry that weight forever. She paused. But I ask you this. What were we supposed to do? Follow the Council rules? Wait 6 months for committees? Watch while the Valtrine did it again to another colony? How many dead children are acceptable? Give me a number. Because the Council has one. The number is infinity. As long as the deaths happen slowly and the paperwork is filled out correctly. Her voice grew harder. The Valtrine are coming to Earth. Let them come. We will show them what happens when you wake up a sleeping monster. We will show the galaxy that humans are not weak. We are not prey. We have simply been patient. That patience is over. Admiral Deho received one more message before the Valtrine arrived. It was from a civilian on Earth. A woman named Yunha. Her sister had died on New Jeju. The message was short. Admiral, I voted against this war. Not because I do not want justice for my sister, but because I fear what we are becoming. Please prove me wrong. Show us we can fight without losing our souls, please. Deho read the message 3 times. Then he deleted it. He could not afford doubt now. The fleet was coming. The battle would begin soon, and when it was over, the Valtrine war fleet moved through space like a slow storm. 300 dreadnoughts, each one a city of weapons. High Commander Thex watched from his flagship and felt confident. No species had ever survived a fleet this size. The humans would learn their mistake, but something was wrong. The humans were not where they should be. Every human colony his scouts found was empty, evacuated. The human ships ran away whenever his fleet approached. They never fought. They just jumped away at the last second. Thex thought the humans were afraid. His officers agreed. The humans were fleeing because they could not win. All that talk about being monsters was just words. When faced with real power, they ran like prey animals. He did not understand. The humans were not running. They were herding, leading the Valtrine fleet exactly where they wanted it to go. Colonel Jinho and his team reached Valtrine Prime 3 days after the war fleet left. The planet had defenses, but most of the military was gone. The Ghost Battalion slipped through the gaps like smoke through fingers. Their mission was not to destroy. It was to embarrass. They penetrated the planetary network and found what they needed. Files, records, video evidence. The Valtrine had documented everything they did. Every colony they destroyed, every species they enslaved. Every law they broke, Jinho uploaded it all to the public networks. Every Valtrine citizen could see it. Their empire was built on murder. Not just New Jeju. 40 other colonies over 100 years. Species that no longer existed. Children who died screaming. All documented. All filed away like tax records. Then the Ghost Battalion did something that terrified the Valtrine government even more. They broadcast a message from the Emperor's own palace. Just 5 words, "We can reach you anywhere." Then they vanished. Gone before the security forces even knew they were there. The message was clear. The humans could have killed the Emperor. They chose not to. This time, back in the Galactic Council, things were falling apart. Ambassador Soyan sat in her chair and watched. Some species supported humanity, mostly smaller species. The ones who had suffered under strong empires like the Valtrine. The Marek's representative stood to speak. The Marek's had lost a colony to the Valtrine 30 years ago. The council had investigated. Nothing happened. "We watched our colony burn," the Marek said. "We followed the rules. We trusted the council. The Valtrine paid a fine. They got to keep our world. Our people are still there working as slaves. The council did nothing. Nothing. So when humans ask me to condemn them for fighting back, I cannot. I will not." More species joined in. The Corwin, who had never fought in their history, spoke carefully. "For 300 years we have watched the strong devour the weak. The council talks. The council investigates. The council does nothing. Perhaps it is time for a different approach." The galaxy was dividing. Some species were afraid of human violence. Others were grateful someone finally acted. And everyone wondered, if the Valtrine could be stopped, who else could be stopped? What other injustices might finally be addressed? On Earth, scientist Taewon studied captured Valtrine technology. He led a team examining equipment from destroyed Valtrine ships. What they found made him sick. The Valtrine targeting systems were programmed to prioritize civilians. Not by accident. Not in the heat of battle. It was deliberate design. When Valtrine ships attacked colonies, their computers automatically aimed at schools, hospitals, residential areas first. Taewon called Admiral Daeho. "Sir, New Jeju was not a mistake. It was not commanders making bad choices in combat. This is what they always do. It is programmed into their weapons. They murder civilians as policy." Daeho felt something harden inside him. He had carried guilt about the Valtrine civilians his strikes had killed. Part of him wondered if he was a monster. But the Valtrine had built machines specifically designed to kill children. They had turned genocide into software code. "Release those findings to the public," Daeho ordered. "All of them. Let the galaxy see what we are fighting." Not everyone on Earth agreed with the war. Protests grew larger. A man named Young-soo led the peace movement. He was a representative in the Global Assembly. He gave speeches calling for negotiation. "We are becoming what we fought," Young-soo said to crowds. "We killed 4 million civilians. We matched their crime exactly. How does that make us better? We should stop now, negotiate. Show the galaxy that humans can be merciful." Earth held a vote. Should humanity continue the war or seek peace? The results came in. 73% voted to continue. 27% wanted negotiation. Prime Minister Ji-won looked at the numbers. Nearly 3 out of 10 humans wanted to stop. That was millions of people who disagreed with her decisions. Their voices mattered too. One message reached Admiral Daeho from the peace movement. A woman named Yuna had sent it. Her sister died on New Jeju. "Admiral, I voted against continuing the war. My sister is dead. I want justice for her. But killing millions of Valtrine civilians is not justice. It is revenge. Please prove me wrong. Show me that we can win without becoming monsters ourselves." Daeho saved the message. He could not answer it yet. Maybe after the battle. Maybe after he understood what they had become. The Valtrine fleet continued toward Earth. High Commander Thex divided his forces. 200 ships would jump directly to Earth orbit. 100 ships would secure human outer colonies. He wanted total victory. Complete submission. The humans would beg for mercy. Some of his officers warned him. "Commander, the human ships are moving in strange patterns. Our sensors detect unusual readings in empty space. This could be a trap." Thex dismissed their concerns. "Humans are prey species. They evolved from herbivores. Our biologists confirmed this. They have no predator instincts. They are running because they are afraid. We proceed as planned." The Valtrine biologists were wrong. Humans did not evolve from herbivores. They evolved as persistence hunters. They chased prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. They worked in packs. They used tools. They planned ambushes. They were very good predators. They just usually hunted each other. The Valtrine fleet reached the jump point. 200 ships prepared to emerge near Earth. Navigation computers calculated the coordinates. Drives charged. The fleet jumped. They emerged from faster-than-light travel into hell. The mines were everywhere. Thousands of them. Stealth mines that the Valtrine sensors never detected. The moment the fleet appeared, the mines activated. They did not explode. They were kinetic weapons. Small masses moving at nearly light speed. A piece of metal the size of a fist, traveling at 98% light speed, hits like a nuclear bomb. The Valtrine ships had armor. Strong armor. It did not matter. The kinetic rounds went through the armor like it was paper. 20 ships died in the first minute. 50 more were crippled. The Valtrine fleet tried to scatter, but they had emerged too close together. Their own doctrine said to stay in tight formation for mutual defense. That doctrine was written for conventional warfare. This was not conventional. Then the human ships appeared. Not the few dozen ships the Valtrine expected. Hundreds of ships. Those cargo haulers opened up to reveal strike craft. Those mining stations had been building weapons for years. The defensive installations were actually forward attack bases. The human ships did not fight honorably. They did not line up for ship-to-ship combat. They swarmed. They attacked from every direction. They targeted engines first, leaving ships floating helpless. Then they targeted life support. Then they moved to the next ship. Captain Minji coordinated the attack from her ship. She had studied ancient Earth naval warfare. Not the honorable battles, the ambushes, the raids, the tactics that winners used when they were outnumbered. She used all of them now. High Commander Thex watched his fleet die. 200 ships had jumped in. After 6 hours, only 60 were still operational. The rest were destroyed or drifting wrecks. His flagship was damaged but functional. He ordered retreat. The surviving ships jumped away. The humans let them go. They wanted survivors, wanted someone to carry the message back. The message was simple. We are not prey. The second Valtrine fleet, the one attacking human outer colonies, received the news. 100 ships against what they thought were undefended colonies. But the colonies were not undefended. They were bait. Human ships that had been hiding in asteroid fields and behind moons suddenly appeared. The colonists who had supposedly evacuated? Many were actually combat engineers who had turned their colonies into fortresses. Mining equipment made excellent weapons when you understood physics. The second fleet lost 40 ships before they retreated. Combined, the Valtrine war fleet had started with 300 dreadnoughts. 200 remained, many damaged. It had taken the humans 6 hours to destroy the most powerful military force in the galaxy. High Commander Thex sat in his damaged flagship. He finally understood. The humans had been pretending to be civilized, pretending to be weak, pretending to be prey, but they were hunters. Patient, clever hunters who had spent 15 years studying their potential enemies. The Valtrine Empire had kicked a sleeping predator. Now that predator was awake and angry, and it had spent 10,000 years learning how to kill. Admiral Deho received the casualty reports. Human losses, 15,000 military personnel, 3 ships destroyed, 17 damaged. Valtrine loss. The remains of the Valtrine fleet limped back to their space. High Commander Thex had lost most of his ships. More importantly, he had lost his confidence. The humans had destroyed his fleet in hours. What else were they capable of? On Earth, people celebrated. The mighty Valtrine had been defeated. Humanity was safe, but Admiral Deho did not celebrate. He knew the war was not finished. Wounded enemies were the most dangerous kind. He called a meeting with his senior staff. Minji attended, along with the other fleet commanders. One new face appeared on the screens. Admiral Suna. She commanded the second fleet, which had stayed back during the main battle. Suna was older than Deho. She had fought in the Earth unification wars too, but on the diplomatic side. She believed in restraint, in showing mercy. She had ordered her fleet to stand down during the battle, refusing to participate in what she called excessive force. Admiral Deho, Suna said formally, I am requesting that we offer the Valtrine surrender terms. We have proven our strength. Now we should show our mercy. The Valtrine do not understand mercy, Deho replied. They understand only strength. If we show weakness now, they will rebuild and attack again. Then we will have become what we fought. Monsters who only understand violence. Is that what we want to be? Prime Minister Ji-won listened to the debate. She had to make the choice. Continue the war and risk becoming monsters, or show mercy and risk the Valtrine returning stronger? The decision was made harder by new intelligence. Engineer Nari discovered something terrible in the captured Valtrine computers. Plans for forbidden weapons, planet killers, biological weapons. Worst of all, consciousness weapons that could rewrite minds and turn entire populations into slaves. Nari showed the files to the command staff. These weapons are stored in a facility deep in Valtrine space. The defenses are massive. But if the Valtrine deploy these weapons, billions will die. Or worse than die, they will become slaves who do not even know they were enslaved. Director Kiwon added more bad news. The Valtrine Emperor Draken has made his decision. He will not surrender. He is activating the forbidden weapons. He believes if the Valtrine fall, the entire galactic order will collapse. Other species will see weakness and attack. So he will use everything he has. Worse still, the Valtrine had planted antimatter bombs on 15 inhabited worlds. 3 were human colonies. The others belonged to smaller species. If the humans attacked, the bombs would detonate. Billions of hostages. Emperor Draken made his own broadcast to the galaxy. He appeared calm, confident. Humanity has shown its true nature. They are savages dressed in civilized clothing. But the Valtrine Empire will not fall. We have placed devices on 15 worlds. If humanity attacks us, those worlds die. All of them. Humanity has 48 hours to withdraw all military forces from Valtrine space. Or we start detonating the devices. 1 per day. Until they comply. Admiral Deho stared at the tactical display. Billions of lives used as shields. It was brilliant and evil. Attack and billions die. Retreat and the Valtrine rebuild their fleet and attack again later. Either choice led to more death. Admiral Suna spoke urgently. This is exactly when we should accept mediation. The Council is offering to negotiate. We can get the hostages freed. The Council? Deho interrupted. The same Council that let the Valtrine kill 4 million of our people? The Council that takes 6 months to condemn genocide? You want to trust them with billions of lives? I want to trust something other than violence. The argument continued for hours. The military command split into 2 groups. Those who supported Deho's total war approach. Those who agreed with Suna's call for restraint. Prime Minister Ji-won listened to both sides. The decision fell to her. While they debated, a message arrived, encrypted, from someone in Valtrine space. A defector named Siwon. He was a Valtrine engineer who had worked on the antimatter devices. Siwon provided detailed information, the locations of all 15 devices. The technical specifications. Most importantly, he revealed a vulnerability. The devices used quantum entanglement to stay synchronized with a central control system. During the entanglement refresh cycle, there was a 90-second window where they could be deactivated, but the window was the same for all devices. To save the hostages, humanity would need to disable all 15 devices within 90 seconds. 15 teams, 15 worlds, perfect coordination. 1 mistake and billions die. Colonel Jinho reviewed the plan. His ghost battalion had just returned from Valtrine Prime. They were exhausted. Some were wounded. But they were the only soldiers with the training for this kind of mission. We can do it, Jinho told Admiral Deho. But we need soldiers who will not hesitate, who understand the stakes. I am requesting volunteers from New Jeju Defense Forces. There are no New Jeju Defense Forces, Minji said quietly. They all died defending the colony. Not all, Jinho replied. Some were off-world when it happened. In training on leave. About 300 survived. They have been asking for combat assignments since the massacre. They want this mission. Prime Minister Ji-won made her decision. We execute the operation, but with conditions. We disable the antimatter devices. We neutralize the consciousness weapons, but we do not destroy the Valtrine civilization. Once they are disarmed, we offer surrender terms. Real terms. War crimes trials, yes. Reparations, yes. But we leave them their worlds. We leave them their future. Not because they deserve mercy, but because we do. Admiral Deho stood. Prime Minister, with respect, that is a mistake. Half measures will get more people killed. We should... Admiral! Ji-won's voice was hard. I am not debating this. You will execute Operation Terminus. You will disable the antimatter devices. Then you will offer surrender terms to the Valtrine. That is an order. If you cannot follow it, I will find an admiral who can." For a long moment, Deho did not respond. He had never disobeyed an order in his career. But he believed this order would doom billions. Still, he was a soldier. Soldiers followed orders. "Yes, Prime Minister," he said finally. "We will execute as ordered." Operation Terminus began 48 hours later. 15 teams deployed to 15 worlds. Each team had 10 to 20 operators. Most were from the Ghost Battalion. Many were survivors from New Jeju. The youngest team leader was Lieutenant Hanul. She was 23. Her parents and 2 brothers had died on New Jeju. She volunteered for the most dangerous insertion. A Valtrine military world with heavy security. Getting in would be hard. Getting out might be impossible. Engineer Nari coordinated from Earth. She had designed the disabling devices the teams would use. She also managed the timing. Everything had to happen within a 90-second window. Too early or too late and the devices would detonate. Captain Minji led Team Alpha. Her target was a heavily defended Valtrine colony world. Thousands of guards, automated defenses. Her team had to get in, find the device and prepare it for disabling. All without being detected until the last moment. Colonel Jinho took Team Bravo himself. He was still injured from the Valtrine Prime mission. His medical officer told him to stay behind. Jinho ignored the advice. He would not send his people on a suicide mission without joining them. The teams inserted over 2 days. Some entries were smooth. Team Charlie walked through security checkpoints using forged credentials. Team Echo posed as maintenance workers. Others had to fight their way in. Team Delta was compromised within minutes of landing. Team Delta's commander sent one message before his communications went dark. "Device secured. Heavy casualties. Ready for execution window. Recommend proceed without waiting for our confirmation." Then silence. Nari stared at her screen. Team Delta might be dead, or they might be fighting. Either way, she had to assume they were ready. If she waited for confirmation, the window might close. Team Gamma had different problems. They reached their device location but found it had been moved. The defector Sawan's information was slightly outdated. The device was somewhere in a large facility. They had 15 minutes to search before the execution window opened. The countdown reached 0. The 90-second window opened. Nari gave the signal. "All teams execute now." 13 teams responded immediately. Green lights appeared on Nari's screen. Device disabled. Device disabled. Device disabled. 13 down. 2 to go. Team Delta remained silent. Team Gamma was still searching. 45 seconds left in the window. Admiral Deho watched from the command center. His hands gripped the console. 2 worlds. Billions of people. 40 seconds, Team Gamma's commander suddenly transmitted. "Found it." The device was hidden in a residential block, surrounded by civilians. "Disabling now." 30 seconds, Team Delta transmitted. Their operator's voice was weak, injured. "Device secured." Multiple casualties. "Disabling. Now." 20 seconds. 15 seconds. 14 lights still green. Waiting for confirmation from the last 2 teams. 10 seconds. Team Gamma confirmed. Device disabled. 9 seconds. Team Delta's signal was breaking up. Static. Fragments of words. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2 seconds. Team Delta's confirmation came through. Device disabled. Team compromised. "Get out now, 1 second." All 15 devices disabled. All 15 lights green. The quantum entanglement window closed. The dead man's switch failed. Billions of people would live. The command center erupted in cheers. Nari collapsed in her chair, shaking. Daiho allowed himself one deep breath. They had done it. Against impossible. The consciousness weapons launched before anyone could stop them. 6 weapons hidden in different parts of Valtrine space. Each one could rewrite the minds of millions. Turn free people into obedient slaves who did not even know they had been enslaved. Admiral Suna's fleet had been held in reserve during the main battle. Now she understood why. Her ships were equipped for non-lethal intervention. Electromagnetic pulse weapons, tractor beams, jamming systems, tools for stopping enemies without killing them. She had opposed the war. She had argued for restraint. Now she had seconds to prove that restraint could still win battles. "All ships intercept those weapons," Suna ordered. "Use everything. EMP, tractor beams, kinetic interceptors. Do not let them reach their targets. Admiral Deho's combat fleets moved in as well. For the first time since the war began, both admirals worked together perfectly. Soon as ships disabled the weapons, Deho's ships provided cover fire against Valtrine defenses trying to protect the weapons. 3 consciousness weapons were destroyed in minutes. 2 more were disabled by electromagnetic pulses. The 6th weapon activated before they could reach it. The target was a Valtrine subject world. 400 million people lived there. They were a species the Valtrine had conquered decades ago. Now they would become mindless slaves, except the weapon did not hit them. Siwan, the Valtrine defector who had provided intelligence, had done one more thing. He had sabotaged the targeting system on that weapon. Instead of hitting the subject species, it targeted Valtrine Prime, the homeworld, where Emperor Draken and his entire government lived. The consciousness weapon struck Valtrine Prime. 3 billion Valtrine, including the Emperor and all military command, were caught in the effect. Their minds were rewritten. They became docile, suggestible, unable to resist commands or think critically. They were alive but no longer free. The Valtrine Empire collapsed in hours. Without leadership, regional governors surrendered independently. Without orders, military units stood down. The war was over. Humanity had won absolutely, but victory felt hollow. Deho stood in his command center and looked at reports. Human casualties. 15,000 military dead from combat operations. 2 million civilians killed in Valtrine retaliatory strikes before surrender. 3 colonies damaged. Valtrine casualties. 4,300,000 in the initial symmetry strikes. 3 million in fleet battles. 3 billion on Valtrine Prime with their minds destroyed. Total, over 10 billion Valtrine dead or enslaved. The numbers made him sick. Yes, the Valtrine had started it. Yes, they had consciousness weapons ready to use. Yes, they would have done worse if they could. But 10 billion. Minji entered his office. She looked tired. They all looked tired. Sir, Team Delta casualties came in. 34 operators killed. 6 wounded. They held the device location until the last second. If they had retreated earlier, the device would have detonated. 34 more names to add to the list. 34 people who died saving billions. Heroes, but dead heroes. Across the galaxy, reactions split. 50 species celebrated. The Valtrine tyranny was ended. Smaller species that had been threatened for centuries could finally feel safe. The Council's failure had been exposed. A new order was coming, but 50 other species were terrified. Humanity had destroyed a galactic empire in 3 months. What else were they capable of? Who would stop them if they decided to conquer instead of defend? Prime Minister Jiwan addressed the Galactic Assembly. The Council had dissolved. In its place, a new organization formed. Every species had equal voice. But now that voice came with responsibility. Military alliances replaced endless debate. The war is over, Jiwan said. Humanity has proven it can fight. Now we must prove we can stop. We will not occupy Valtrine worlds. We will not take their resources. We will establish tribunals for war crimes. Those responsible will face justice, but we will also help rebuild, she paused. Some will call this weakness. Some will say we should crush our enemies completely. But we learned something in this war. Being civilized is not about avoiding violence. It is about knowing when to stop. We stopped being civilized to win the war. Now we start being civilized again to win the peace. Not everyone agreed. On Earth, Representative Youngsu demanded investigations into human conduct. We killed billions. We matched the Valtrine in cruelty. We must hold ourselves accountable or we are no better than they were. The investigation was opened. Public. Transparent. Broadcast across the galaxy. Every action was examined. Every order was questioned. The galaxy watched humans judge themselves. Admiral Suna testified first. I opposed Admiral Deho's methods. I believed restraint could work. I was wrong about some things, right about others. The question is not whether our actions were extreme, they were. The question is whether we hold ourselves accountable afterward. I believe we must. Admiral Deho testified for 3 days. He explained every decision, every casualty, every strike. He did not apologize. I matched their numbers deliberately, he said. 4,300,000 Valtrine civilians died because I ordered it. Was it legal? According to war law, yes. Was it moral? I do not know. Was it necessary? I believed it was. Would I do it again? I hope I never have to answer that question. He looked directly at the tribunal. You want me to say I was wrong? That I should have shown mercy. That I should have trusted the council. But the council let 4 million people die while they debated. I will not apologize for saving billions by killing millions. Judge me if you must. But do not ask me to regret stopping monsters. The tribunal deliberated for months. Finally, they reached a verdict. Deho's actions were ruled legally justified under war law but ethically problematic. No criminal charges, but he was stripped of command and assigned to humanitarian reconstruction for 5 years. It was not punishment exactly. It was not forgiveness either. It was accountability. Deho accepted the verdict without complaint. His first assignment was on a Valtrine colony that had been damaged in the fighting. He helped rebuild infrastructure, taught children, listened to survivors' stories on both sides. One day, he met June. She was the young woman from New Jeju who had asked him in the hospital if they had won or just become what they fought. She was a diplomat now, working to integrate former Valtrine worlds. They talked for hours about the war, about justice, about whether any of them had done the right thing. They did not reach conclusions, but they kept talking. Engineer Nari designed new technologies for planetary restoration. Scientist Taewon helped species recover from consciousness manipulation. It was slow work, expensive work. There were no parades, no celebrations, just the grinding effort to repair what war broke. On Earth, a memorial was built for New Jeju. It listed every name, every face, 4,300,000 colonists. At the dedication, Prime Minister Ji-won spoke. We won the war. We proved humans can fight. We forced the galaxy to respect us. But we lost something too, the belief that we could solve every problem without violence. This memorial honors the dead, but it also reminds us of the cost of winning. May we never forget either. Siwon, the Valtrine defector, lived quietly on Earth. He started a school. He taught young humans in Valtrine about the cost of war, about how enemies can become allies, about why preventing conflicts matters more than winning them. Captain Minji became Admiral Minji. She commanded the humanitarian fleet. Her mission was to prevent future massacres. Her ships patrolled vulnerable systems, escorted refugees, responded to distress calls. It was not glamorous, but after years of war she found it meaningful. 20 years passed. Ambassador Soyeon addressed the Galactic Assembly. She was old now, scarred by political battles and moral compromises, but her voice was strong. Humanity joined this galaxy hoping to be better. We wanted to leave our violent past behind. The Valtrine proved we could not. But we also proved something else. That humans can fight like demons when we must, then return to building when we can. She paused. That is not a contradiction. That is who we are. Civilized until we stop, monsters until we win, builders after victory. The galaxy feared what we became during the war. They should fear more what we became after. A species that knows its own capacity for horror and chooses to be better anyway. On New Jeju, rebuilding continued. Not as it was. That could never be recovered. But as something new. A city rose where ashes fell. Children played in parks named for the dead. In the central square, a marker stood. Simple words carved in stone. Now we stop being civilized. Below it, someone had added in smaller letters. And now we start again. A group of children ran past the memorial. Human and Valtrine children playing together. They did not remember the war. They only knew the peace that came after. That was how it should be. Deho watched them from a bench nearby. He was old now too. Gray hair, tired eyes. But peaceful. As peaceful as a man could be after the things he had done. Yuna sat beside him. The woman who had asked him to prove her wrong. To show that humans could fight without losing their souls. They had become friends over the years. Strange friends. But friends, did we win? She asked. The same question she had asked 20 years ago. Deho watched the children play. Human and Valtrine together, the next generation unburdened by the hatred of the last.